Today, we are ranking every NFL team in the playoffs from worst to best. There are 14 teams remaining as we're recording, and we're both going to have a differentiation of opinions. I'm sure we have not talked about this previously. If you're new, please subscribe. That would be high key appreciated. Buck, give us number 14.
We didn't talk about this before, but I think everybody's consensus would be number 14 needs to be the Panthers. They snuck into the playoffs. They beat the Rams the first time around. I think this is the only interesting storyline that we have is they are playing them again. I just don't see them beating the Rams again, personally. I think they're one and done, so they are my number 14.
I also agree. I have the Panthers at 14. They're easily the least consistent team. That's where this is going to be. Even if they beat the Rams somehow, which you never know with the Panthers. They're a strange organization. The only team in the playoffs with under a 500 record, just throwing it out there. These are the facts. These are the stats. But they can't make a long-term run. I just can't see it because they don't have consistency. But if they beat the Rams, I think every other NFL organization will be singing praises, giving out hugs. So we both have the Panthers at 14. At number 13, maybe I should begin because I made you go
for
first
it.
there. I'll start. At number 13, I have the Steelers, mainly because they're first off going against my Texans, who I think are going to absolutely put so much pressure on Aaron Rodgers. I just don't love their receiving core either. We do have DK that'll be back from suspension. He's probably going to be highly motivated, but there's a reason that he has to throw so many different screens, and Gainwell's kind of the main receiver. You run the double tight end. However, you do have to play in Pittsburgh, which is never great for a traveling team, but I don't want to think about that. So 13 Steelers my way.
I had the Steelers at 13 as well. I put them as another team that kind of snuck into the playoffs. I don't think they're that great of a team. I do think the Texans are going to handle them when they show up there, even with how horrific it is playing there just due to the weather and the fact that it's Pittsburgh. But they were my number 13 as well.
Defensive grind is what I'm anticipating. If you guys are looking for entertainment, I don't know if that'll be the game for you.
You can go outside and watch some grass. Dude.
Yeah, unless you like tackles, you like tackling, you like pass rushing. Maybe you're tuned in, you're dialed, but I just don't think it's going to be a pretty one.
Not at all. This might be a hot take. I think this is where things are going to start to differ on our list. I have the Packers at 12.
I also have the Packers at 12.
No shot. Do you actually?
I do.
Oh my God. All right.
I promise this is not by the book. I swear
this is
it's going to
crazy.
get different at some point.
Yeah, no, it has to. I basically put the Packers are beat up, man. I thought at the beginning of the year they were extremely dominant defensively. That's just unfortunately not the case anymore. I'm standing by my narrative, and if I eat my words, I do. I don't think Jordan Love's that guy. I think the Bears are going to beat them. I think it's going to be a close game. I don't think it's going to be a very high-scoring game personally, but I do think the Bears are going to get past them, and that's why the Packers for me are number 12.
And the Packers are playing away. Remember, Chicago is going to be in Chicago. It's going to be a cold affair. Also, losing Micah Parsons is a big deal. That's one of those defensive players in the league that can just change everything in a game, and especially going into the playoffs, that's somebody that you want on your side. I will say this, and we made a video with our predictions. I don't know if the Bears deserve to beat the Packers at all this season.
Yeah.
So they had that crazy overtime game that you should keep replaying constantly. It was one of the only games that I saw an onside kick, and maybe the only one that I remember that it worked out. The onside actually worked out where they scored.
Yeah.
It had everything. But Packers at number 12. At number 11, I have who they're playing with the Chicago Bears. So please tell me we have a differentiation.
We have a differentiation there.
There we go. We're on the board. We have something that we're not agreeing on. I've got Chicago at number 11. I've been very impressed. Top team when it comes to forcing turnovers. Of course, a home game. I think they get by the Packers. I'd love to see how far Caleb Williams can lead them. I think it really comes down to more of the O-line and then that run game with Monangai and Swift. Are they going to be able to keep generating yards? If you've got a turnover defense, you got the run game, you can kind of make something happen here. But I got them beating the Packers, so that's maybe the most important. They get past the first round.
Okay. Yeah, the Bears are my one weird pick where I'm sure people are going to get pissed off in the comments, but it's completely fine. My number 11 is the Chargers, is where I have them. I think they had a really dominant start to the beginning of the year. I think once some of Herbert's protection up front got injured, some of these teams have really, really taken advantage of that, and they know how to capitalize on that to kind of take away all these new options that the Chargers have on offense. Herbert doesn't have enough time to get to a lot of them anymore. So I put the Chargers.
O-line is suspect.
That's the problem.
Even now, like a lot of times throughout the year, O-lines, well, they either get better or if you have an injuries, maybe they get worse. But from start to finish this year, the Chargers O-line has been bad.
Yes.
That is the main headline. If you're writing on the wall somewhere saying, hey, what's the biggest issue? I mean, you guys, all the receivers you could ask for, a lot of
Yes.
optionality. Maybe spoiled. Even Gadsden basically he was a receiver and now he's turned into a tight end. That guy's got hands and athleticism that you wish for, that you pray for. Like, you could build 2 or 3 of me and I wouldn't be able to combine to line up what Gadsden is offering. I don't know if I like that, but either way, okay. You got a number 11 with
Chargers.
your
yes.
Chargers. Okay,
yep.
Continue. Go to number 10.
I have Denver as number 10, which, I mean, that could be a hot take as well, too. I just don't think Denver's good. I don't think they're good, man. I have to put Denver above the Chargers just based off this season, obviously. I just don't think offensively they're there to do anything against a lot of these teams. I think defensively they're going to keep them in the game no matter what. I just don't see Denver pulling out this 1 to 5 point win that they've had 9 times this season in the playoffs. That's my opinion.
I will bring up one counterpoint here and why I could not have Denver this low, even though you and I both are thinking they're a little more fraudulent than maybe the rest of America, or maybe you guys agree. Let us know in the comments, ideally quickly, so these games aren't done and you can come back to the video and say, look what we predicted.
Yeah.
But Denver has a bye. And because they have a bye, they're already past that first round. And a lot of teams are going to be eliminated, so they can't be this low for me logically. That's where I'm at. At number 10, I have the 49ers. I think they're going to struggle going over to Philadelphia. I don't think that's going to be the matchup that people are hoping for. However, I will happily, oh my goodness, I'll be so happy to make a follow-up video saying that the 49ers ran all over them. CMC had a fantastic performance, and Philly has been eliminated from the playoffs. No repeat. I would love that. But I'm telling you, West Coast teams going to the East Coast, typically problematic. You don't want to go to Philadelphia and do anything. You don't want to go there. Actually, you know what? You can just skip the city. Skip the city. You don't want to play sports there. You don't want to eat there. You don't want to hang out there. Get out of there. But I've got the 49ers at number 10. Mainly because I just don't think they're going to get by the Eagles, which brings me to number 9, one of my hottest takes, but I'm trying to stay true to our predictions. If I'm going to own them, I got to own them. At number 9, I have Drake May and the Patriots, who you can only play the people in front of you, but they had a bit of a fluffy schedule. I mean, Drake May's been outstanding, likely to win the MVP and deserves it. He's been able to do everything, moves really well with his feet. I also think this team is very Drake May dependent. I don't think it's an outstanding team or organization right now. If you think about it, last year, they weren't good at all. Hence how they came about, making the right choices and pickups and so forth. It was kind of Drake May's development year. This year, he's been, oh my goodness, you couldn't write a better script. But they haven't played that many tough opponents. However, again, a West Coast team, Chargers, they are traveling to Boston or to New England, and they've got to deal with that type of weather, and it has been cold. I'm on the East Coast.
All right, my number 9. I have Jacksonville at number 9. I once again we've said it a million times. Jacksonville's been a hell of a lot better than we thought they were going to be this year. A hell of a lot better. I just don't think they have what it takes to get over the Bills hump that they're going to face in the playoffs. I don't think it's going to happen. I think their run is over with now. If I'm wrong, I'll eat my words once again. I just think Josh Allen can take over a game. I think he's going to take over against them, and I think their run is over with. So I have Jacksonville at number 9. Do you want me to go to number 8 as well then? Or you're just looking at me a little weird right now?
I'm happy. Okay. I was very quiet. I'm waiting.
That's fine. Number 8, I have Eagles. I think this is the least dominant Eagles we've seen very recently. They're the reigning champs, though, so you got to give them a little bit of respect. There's a lot of guys out there that have the experience of making these playoff runs. So they could get past the 49ers. My prediction video is that the 49ers are going to get past them. I think the Eagles they've hit their little ceiling and they're done. I don't think that, once again, they're as good as they were. So I have to stay true to my prediction video, and that's why I have the Eagles at number 8.
And at number 8, I have your Chargers. And to me, it makes sense. Again, I took the Chargers to beat the Patriots, so that means they have to be better than the Patriots. Yeah. I hope Herbert surprises people. Patriots don't have a fantastic pass rush. I think they have a little more time to work with. Maybe I'm being ambitious here, but I just don't think the Patriots are as complete. I don't want to be a broken record, but that's kind of where my headspace is at. Number 7, and this is probably the only time I'm going to do this. I think the Jags are at 7 for me.
Okay.
But yeah, they're at 7 for me. However, the Chargers are going to go further in the playoffs. I think the matchup. I think it's more of a matchup situation than anything else. So I think the Jags are a better team, even though the Chargers are going to progress further. The Jags, it's really the defense that impresses me the most. They don't have a bad run game. You've got Trevor Lawrence, where both of us have been on the fence all year, but he's kind of earned some apologies maybe. We got to give credit where credit is due. He's also finished out the year fantastically well. There were a lot of opportunities.
They beat the crap out of the Chargers too.
Yeah.
So that's another part of it as well. Yeah.
I'm also going to say that the Texans went on this incredible win streak to finish out the year. So if Jacksonville makes any mistakes, we as the Texans win the division, and that didn't happen. We weren't able to do that. So now we got the wild card spot. But I think you have to give a lot of credit to leadership there within the coaching. I like their coaching as well, which I never thought I'd say that about Jacksonville. They've kind of been a cursed franchise. Coaching staff's no good. Players they work through no good. Overall team mentality. You know they're not going to be very good. That's kind of been the history of that organization, generally speaking, in our lives. But 13-4, division winners, Jacksonville, number 7. Lock it in.
My number 7 is Houston. That's who I have. I think Houston is a lot better than everybody thinks they are. I think, once again, the incredible run that you guys went on at the end of the season
still
was
on
awesome.
It.
Yeah, no,
still on it, brother.
They're still on it. I think your guys' defense is insane, which is why I think you guys are going to beat the crap out of the Steelers. Personally, I don't think the Steelers are going to have an answer for a lot of anybody
Willie
on
Anderson
your defensive end.
Donnell Hunter going to eat up.
Yeah,
eat up.
I think so too. So I think it's going to be New England versus you guys was my prediction in the next round. If I were you, I'd hope the Chargers got through because I think you guys will take care of us again.
Oh, with your offensive line? Oh,
yeah,
man.
I think they're going to take care of us again. So Houston's my number 7.
Field day. Okay.
Number 6, though, I have the Bears. And once again, this is the one that I've like flopped around a bunch with them, but it's also once again going off my predictions as well too. The Bears have been clutch. They've been fun. I think they put up a really good game against the 49ers, and I've still not said the 49ers on my tier list here either.
I see that. I've noticed.
So I have to leave them somewhat close to each other, but I think they beat the Packers. I also think that they would beat the Eagles if the Eagles go through in the second round. I could see the Bears beating them. I think the 49ers, it's going to be a toss-up if it's them versus the Bears the second round, but I do see the 49ers winning against them, and that is what will probably be my next pick.
And, well, that's a lot of foreshadowing. We should mention, if you want our full predictions, a much deeper breakdown video. That's the previous video on the channel. This one, we wanted to be a little more quick fire as we go through them. At number 6, I have the Broncos, which I still also kind of think credits what we're saying, where we think they're, I don't know if I want to say overrated. They played a lot of boring games. I think they play in a fantastic system. They're well coached. I just don't know if there's as many superstars as you think outside of the defensive end. I do rate the Broncos defensively, like through and through, secondary, the pass rushing, it's there. They're going to be problematic on the defensive end, which takes me to maybe a bias, but at number 5, I have the Houston Texans, best defense in the league, top to bottom. We don't really have any weak points. Of course, I'm coming in full-fledged as biased as it comes. A little concerned with our O-line for this year. I mean, it's okay. Let me own what I'm going to own. We have offensively, it could be maybe a crapshoot of what you're going to get. I mean, I'll have Stroud, who's been playing a lot better to close out the year. Of course, Nico Collins, Schultz, your main target. A lot of the rookies are stepping up, but I've got the Texans at 5. It's of course mainly from the defense, and defense wins championships.
That's fair. I have the 49ers at number 5. I think aside from the Cardinals, that division is the craziest division by a mile. And that is why all 3 of those teams are still left in my top 5 right now as well, too. Even with the injuries, man, these guys grinded out so many wins. And it wasn't just Purdy being injured for a little bit. You love Mac Jones.
Yo, shout out to Mac Jones.
Loves Mac Jones. I like a lot of their weapons offensively. I think they need to give up less points on defense because I think that is a
coaching
factor.
With Buck. Hey, score more, give up less.
Well, the thing is, I only bet over, so I'm not going to sit here and take the under.
You're just an all-time optimistic guy.
Yeah, I love offense. I love cheering for something. I don't cheer for punts. I don't gamble with people that bet the under. I don't invite them over anymore.
It's a different group of person. It is a different type of person.
They're boring people.
You're walking around as a pessimist for most of the day if you're always betting unders. I'm not saying they won't win. I'm just saying if that's where your headspace is.
They're the type of people that wait 30 minutes after eating before they get in the pool.
They're the type of people that send you the Venmo for like $5. You know, this is the frugal group.
Or that'll send it to the exact cent if they're paying you back on something. Yeah, pricks. So I have the 49ers at number 5. My number 4 team, I have Buffalo. I think they're going to make a run. I think they're going to get past Jacksonville. I think they'll beat Denver because once again, I just think Denver sucks. Fully biased
You're
as well,
really projecting here on the video. I got you.
Yeah, I think Josh Allen can get by the Denver defense. I don't see Bo Nix taking over in that game at all. That's my prediction for them. I think they should hope that the Chargers somehow make a little bit of a run and meet them later on. but because New England obviously gave them a game. So that is my number 4. Who do you have?
Yeah, number 4, I've got the Eagles. As much as I'd love to hate on them over and over again, they're the reigning champs. And if you look at this on paper, even if you watch them outside of some of the offensive play calling, you got the key players everywhere. You got the Saquons, you have the wide receiving core, you've got a tight end that can deliver on the defensive end from pass rush to linebackers to secondary. Everything is in place. They haven't really put it together that smooth this year, but with home field, going to Philly, and they have grinded out ugly wins. I don't want to write them off as much as I'd like to. I hope that you're right about the 49ers. You have no idea. I'll fly to you and give you a hug in person.
That works for me.
I want them eliminated from the playoffs, but I have them at number 4, which takes us into the top 3. And some of these teams I think we agree on because I haven't heard it. You haven't heard it. So number 3, I have the Rams. Even though they haven't been as maybe clean on the closeouts of the regular season, but Matt Stafford, career year. Puka is just doing things I didn't know was possible. You also have Devontae Adams back, who's been fantastic this year. Offensively, this team has everything, so you're kind of hoping they outscore people. I like Kyron Williams a lot too. They got the O-line. Collectively, you can see why the Rams should make a run. And I think anyone who's a betting man or just watches football, you're saying the Rams have almost a freebie against the Panthers unless they just come out and don't play. Maybe that's the wrong way to look at it, but it feels that they have better talent everywhere. And there's such inconsistency. If you remember that game, the Panthers were incredible, and it was also not a great game for Matt Stafford. I just don't think both those things are going to happen collectively again. So Rams, number 3.
All right, I have New England at number 3. Once again, they split games with Buffalo, so they were kind of neck and neck with me this year for who I could put at number 4 and number 3. I think if they meet each other again, it could go either way. Personally, I just gave New England number 3 just based off their record, even though I know it was kind of like a cupcake kind of situation, but I think they're good.
You can only play who's in front of you. That's not their fault.
Exactly.
It's not their fault.
So which brings me to number 2, where I have the Rams. I think the Rams convincingly can beat anybody in the NFC aside from the Seahawks. I think they're the only one that they're not going to convincingly beat the crap out of. They look incredible on offense. I think they give up a little too many points on defense, though. I think there has been holes in that defense for sure. I think Stafford's experience takes over a lot of these games. I think he's incredible. It's just a shame they play the Seahawks the second round. Is what it is.
You got some vet winners. You got some vet winners on that team. And number 2 for me, I went with the Bills. It sounds like we're both maybe too optimistic on the Bills. You got James Cook having a career year. You still got Josh Allen. They do have to do this away, though, for many of these matchups. I think most of these matchups. So that's something to take into consideration. The only thing I don't love about the Bills is really the receiving core. They kind of split it amongst a bunch of guys, but I would even argue maybe Kincaid is their most reliable on the tight end, or you could talk about Shakir. But either way, I kind of have a feeling that the Bills are going to do this. I don't know if I just back Josh Allen that heavy, and that leads us to number 1 for both of us being the Seattle Seahawks. And you're looking at a double top 10 offensively, defensively all year. They've been super consistent. You do not want to go to Seattle. It's miserable. They're ready for the rain, the snow, the sleet, no sunshine. That's how they live. That's how they live in Seattle. I just think collectively they have so many players, and there is a feeling of belief. When you see interviews, you hear them talk about the goal is definitely to win the Super Bowl. I know every team says that, but I'm feeling a little bit different about Seattle. Sammy Darnold has probably been the pickup of all free agents. I mean, they had to pay him some money, but talk about going to a team and really leading that team. In many key circumstances. They had a couple of cool games. I said cool, but I mean like great games, had some comebacks.
It's pretty chill games. Yeah.
Games. It was cold.
Yeah,
outside.
whatever.
I don't know. We're at the end of this. Either way, Seahawks for both of us the number 1. Doesn't mean they're going to win it, but at least coming into this first round of games, they've had a bye and they've looked just dangerous both sides of the ball.
The space is what I've written down too. They have all the pieces to do it. Sam Darnold just needs to show up, I think, is really what it comes down to. So how about we do this? Comment down below who you think is going to win the Super Bowl. Call it now. So in like a month's time from now, we can go back and we can have this conversation. And it's not a, hey, I could have told you this was going to happen thing. All right, throw it down there. If you haven't subscribed, please do. There'll be more videos coming out, especially with the playoffs now too. There'll be a ton on the channel here. And we will see you guys after this round of playoffs.